like, well, okay, let's learn the lesson from someone else and start to translate those into the next generation or the people that are being mentored, make sure they're not making a lot of the same mistakes and short circuit some of this so we can get the next wave of people in here that are good at what they do, have some background, but have some background from the people that have been doing this and learned it the very, very hard way. I think those would be the things that really would be nice to get out there more, hear vocalized more, and even have places that people can talk about it and ask questions or be mentored and hear some of those hard lessons so that they understand and get some advice. And that's the mentoring platforms that I think are slightly missing. There's small communities here and there, but I think getting a lot of the veterans to open up about some of the shortcomings and failures and real hard lessons learned needs to be wider spread and more listened to.
Hard to, yeah, that's really, that's valid, right? That's very true, because we do that in so many other areas of technology, right? Like when there's a breach, when there's an incident, when, you know, something goes good or bad. I mean, you're writing down every single little thing that happened. It was like, oh, I typed this command, here's the result, you know, all this sort of stuff, right? But we're not going out there and kind of like putting the work in. I mean, I tried to, right? Like, I feel like when people take the initiative and they reach out to me and they ask for help, I then respond with that same kind of mentality, that same kind of effort, right? But you know, when I remember you bring up, you know, companies having like unrealistic requirements for jobs, right? And I remember seeing the creator of Kubernetes, which he, you know, was looking for a job, right? And he saw this like Kubernetes security admin role, whatever it was, at this company, and they required 10 years of experience with Kubernetes. So this is like when 6 or 7 years into Kubernetes existing, and this guy created it.
From inception.
Right? Yeah. So he reaches out to this company because he was actually interested in working for the company. He talks to the recruiter, and they're like, yeah, we don't think you're a fit. Like, you know, we're really looking for someone with like 10 years of experience with Kubernetes. And he was like blown away because he's like, I literally created it. Like, I literally created it, worked for Google, did my time, left, and like, this is all I know. Like, I don't know how much more experience I can get. And they turned him down. They turned him away at the HR door, right? And like, that's so insane to me. And that still happens constantly. You know, I've been in security for 10 years, right? And I have like some top level certs, right? CISSP, CCSP. You know, I've had the hardest AWS security cert, right? That I just like lost all my hair over, right? So it's like, I know what I'm doing. But then, like, some of these HR requirements will be like, you need 15 years in literally in cloud security. And I'm sitting here like, when was AWS invented? Because like, it has not been around for that long.
Yeah, it is one of those frustrating things, and this is when I do some advisory work for some of the startups, or even when I'm counseling, you know, at the CISO level. It is one of the things that is truly frustrating. We have this huge shortage of technical talents, supposedly, which we do. We've got, you know, a lot of, there were only so many of us at the beginning. We've only gone so far with so many years of experience, and there's only so many people to go around. So the requirements are out there, and there's not enough of us. But on that same token, there are a lot of really great candidates, people that, like you said, invented some of the stuff, like literally wrote the book on the thing that is being hired for, and they can't get past the HR door. Like, we've got to change. HR has its place, and traditionally they do a great job, and they do a job that fundamentally fits the old way of how hiring and recruiting and all the stuff had to happen. And for technical aspects, especially security, especially highly specialized skill, HR just needs to be taken out of the loop. There is literally no place for HR. There's literally no place is for the software, the recruiting. Like, I can't say in the last, others, like for highly specialized people, in the last 5 jobs, I've not filled out an application. I've not seen the job posted. I've not went that way. I've went through a network. Someone knew a job, knew that I would fit, or I've seen something or heard through my network that this place is going to be looking. And it was through relationships. Relationships is how the technical world understands, because it's a relational transaction in a technical form. You need to know that you can trust them. You need to understand that they know what they're talking about. And that's only built through experience of very long-standing projects or technical scenarios that have went down in which you've contributed to, and those aren't something that you can put on a resume. In fact, I have to think a lot of the stuff I do can never be talked about. Like you can't really put that on, like, can't tell you, yeah, classified, or you can't tell you that that's not something that I can actually say I ever did. Like those things don't really work. So you got to have those trust networks and really build that relation around the I would say around your community and the people that are getting placed in positions of hiring or building out teams, and then making sure that you're passing that info and helping people get into those roles through those relationships. Because until we take HR out of this, until we just take all the job posting and recruiting out of the technical aspect, it's not going to get fixed and it's not going to work. So keeping those relationships and getting people placed is literally, who do you know? Then who does your friend know that knows you that you can actually vouch for? And then to keep doing good work at the places you're at. So you build a reputation, you build a name that can then be leveraged. So when you need a job, you can just go look. You don't have to go look for job postings or boards. You've got friends out there trying to find and place you. Yes, there may be a job posting and the job requirements don't fit, but they can go around you and go to the hiring manager and put in a word and say, you just need to look at this guy. Like they don't make him go through the HR. They're not going to get there. If you don't have some of those networks, like reach out, build those communities, find the places you can help and contribute, mentor, get into those relations, spend the time networking, go to security conferences, hacking conferences, just go help in a community, a hackerspace. Like you've got to have that FaceTime. Like it's been probably 6 years since I've been on the Black Hat, like actual, you know, attending talks or DEF CON, attending talks and doing stuff. I'm there to network, keep my community alive, help mentor the next generation, meet new people, integrate into other communities. Like that's what the hacker cons are for. That's what the security and technical cons are for, is building those networks and relationships so you can leverage those at the point in time that you need those funds. And that becomes very important once you go to find a job, I promise. If you're not there yet, like there's some hacks and tricks, like reach out to some of the community, white text in there with all the keywords for all the jobs so that you get through the stupid HR robots and stuff. Like there's some tricks to get into some of the places, but really relations and networks is how this has to get fixed. And until it's there, you're going to have to play the game a little bit and make sure your relations and networks are getting built better.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. I've done several episodes on the importance of building, a reliable network between people and, connecting with people in the industry and whatnot, the value that it actually gives, and this podcast, this platform, right? Very small in comparison to other platforms, but it allows people that I would not normally know or hear about or anything like that reach out to me and say, "Oh, hey, I like how you think about this. Well, can I get your opinion on this? I think you might be a great fit for this role," right? And that's happened a couple times now, and it kind of like throws me off guard every time it happens now, because it's like, man, if I didn't have this platform, I mean, like basically no one listens, right? I mean, I don't know how many listen. I haven't looked at my numbers in like a year, but in my mind, it's just a conversation between me and you. I'm not talking for 3,000